Good morning, everyone. Let's start our Wednesday class with some prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhu Bhuva Swaha, Tat Savitra Varenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Asto ma satgamya tamso ma jyotirgamya mrityorma amritam gamya om sehna bhavatu sehna bhunaktu saviryam karvavahi tejasvi nav dítamastu ma vidveshavahi om shanti 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 om. In our Wednesday's class these days, we are trying to learn some Vedic terminology, but in groups though, and its grouping is done by the numbers. And we are in the group of 5. And last week, in the group of 5, we did the bhuts, the basic elements: earth, water, fire, air, space. Then we did the tan mantras. Those are the subtle elements, the essence of those bhuts: smell, taste, form, touch, and hearing. Then there was a group of 5 kleshas: avidya, asmita, rag, dvesh, abhinivesh. Then if you remember karmindriya, then gyanindriya, you are familiar with those. Then 5 vrittis: praman, vipraya, vikalp, nidra, samriti. Then I told you about Panch Mahayagya: Dev Yagya, Rishi Yagya, Pitri Yagya, Nar Yagya, Bhut Yagya. So today we're going to start the class with 5 Yarms, according to Rishi Patanjali. This is the very first step on the ladder of Ashtanga Yoga. Ahimsa, so these are the 5 Yarms. Ahimsa, that is a non-violence. Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha. So these are the 5 Yarms. So non-violence, truthfulness, non-stealing, sense control, and non-hoarding. These are the 5 Yarms. Then after that comes the second step on the ladder is Niyam. Shauch, Santosh, Tap, Swadhyay, Ishwar Pranidhan. Shauch is purity. Again, all these yams and niyams are at the physical level, at the speech level, and at the thought level. So Shauch is purity, Santosh is contentment, Tap, austerity, Swadhyay, study of the scriptures, Ishwar Pranidhan, surrender to God. Okay. So these are the first 2 steps on the ladder. And the last step on the ladder is Samadhi. We all want Samadhi, but we got to learn how to walk on these 2 steps first. Cultivate these qualities. Very, very important. Sometimes we wonder, why can't we meditate? Why can't we just feel the love for God? We got to look into these 10. What is missing? Okay, this is the homework we need to do as human beings. Yam and the niyams. Okay. Now let's look at 5 bhavs. They are called bhakti sentiments, devotional sentiments. 5 of them. Shant bhav, dasya bhav, Sakhya bhav, Vatsalya bhav, and Madhurya bhav. Shant bhav, complete calmness in you. Mind does not get agitated. Feels the love for God. Even under adversary, Just like Bhisham Pitama, in the middle of the war, even though Lord Krishna said, I'm not going to pick up a weapon. But when Arjun didn't want to fight, then Lord Krishna was about to pick up the weapon. And Bhisham Pitama, what did he do? He put his hands like this, started praying to Lord Krishna. That's called the Shant Bhava. Even under those circumstances, where death was so close to him, he was happy to see Lord Krishna, Bhagwan Krishna, Shant Bhava. Okay, the sentiment of a complete calmness. Second is a dasya. Dasya bhav, I'm the das. All the time, just keep thinking, I am a servant of God. Like Hanumanji, das of Lord Ram. By becoming a das, he became a God. How many temples are there? The name of Hanumanji. Dasya bhav. Then Sakhya bhav. Sudama, Arjun, Sakha. Lord Krishna said many times, you are my Sakha. You are very dear to me. That's the reason I'm giving you this knowledge. When Sudama came over there in Dwarka, what did Lord Krishna do? He ran without the shoes on to meet his friend. He brought him in, washed his feet. That's Sakhya. And Sudama also went there because Sudama knew that he's my friend. God is my friend. Then there's a Vatsalya Bhav. Yashoda. Or other gopis also, the mother gopis, Vatsalya Bhav. Then Madhurya Bhav, Radha. The sweetest sentiment. So these are the 5 bhavs to increase the intensity of love for God. Shant bhav, dasya bhav, sakhya bhav, vatsalya bhav, madhurya bhav. The next category of 5s is the koshas. Most of you are familiar with, we often talk about it. These are the 5 layers of our personality, which are called kosh. Kosh means a sheath. Kosh also means a treasure. That's why, according to the Vedic terminology, this is a treasure which God has given to us. Treat it as a treasure. Don't misuse it. Anumekosh, Pranamekosh, Manomekosh, Vigyanmekosh, and Anandmekosh. What is the Anumekosh? This physical body which we can touch, we can feel, we can see. Even in our mother's womb, it grew because of the food which mother ate. But now we see that as we are growing bigger and bigger and bigger, or when we see other children or grandchildren growing because of the Anna. So the gross body is called Anumekosh. This is the temple of this body. Then Pranamekosh. This vital energy which flows in our nadis, that's called Pranamekosh. Any part of the body, if the vital energy is not flowing, you don't feel anything there. That part has died. That's how important this Pranamekosh, these nadis are countless nadis in us where prana is flowing. That's called a Pranamekosh. And Manomekosh, the mind of ours, the thinking part, the flow of thoughts. It's just like a river is the flow of water. Flow of thought is called mind. Sometimes good thoughts, sometimes not so good thoughts, but it is our mind. Anumekosh. And then Gyan. When we put knowledge in there, into our subtle body, then our discriminating power increases. We can make better decisions. We can see whether it's a prayers or shreyas. Am I on the path of elevating myself, or am I on the path of degrading myself? That's Vijnanmekosh, intellectual sheath. And then Anandmekosh, when we are in the deep sleep, we feel rested. That is called Anandmekosh. Okay, these are all 5 layers of our personality. And we read about this in the Upanishads also, and in other yogic texts also. So we should know the terminology. Now, according to the functions, the yogis, they have divided the pran also in our body. Just like I said, the Pranmekosh, or the vital air. So according to the function, there are 5 prans. Udan, pran, saman, apan, and vyan. These are the 5. Udan. Udan rules the region of the body above the larynx. So up. That's a Udan. Pran. See, there is a pran in the general. Then this pran, when we say pran, that is a specific between the larynx and the base of the heart, vocal apparatus, respiratory system, and muscles engaged in the breathing. That part is called pran. So it's like a right over here. Then saman, third one. The region between the heart and the navel. All the metabolic activity involved in digestion. That is because of the saman. Then apan, below the navel, governs the functions of the kidneys, colon, rectum, bladder, and genitals. So that's a apan vayu or apan pran. Then vyan. Vyan pervades the whole body, governs the relaxation and concentration of all muscles. Voluntary and involuntary movements of the joints. That is a vyan. So again, udan, pran, saman, apan, and vyan. So 5 prans. Yogis did not just leave the pran, description of the prans right there. They said there's some upaprans also, subsidiary prans also. Nag, Kurm, Devdat, Krikal, and Dhananjay. These are the 5 subsidiary prans. When we are burping, the pran which is associated with that is called Nag. Kurm, blinking of the eyes. They gave the name to the yawning Devdat. When we sneeze, that is called a Krikal pran. And Dhananjay is opening and closing of the heart valves. That's how much detail they went into. So again, Nag, Kurm, Devdat, Krikal, and Dhananjay. Next category, and the last category of 5s I have, the P's in Hinduism. Parameshwar. In Hinduism, we believe in God. Parameshwar. Parameshwar. Because Ishwar word can be used for Devatas also. Ishwar word we use for our Guru also. But Parameshwar. Okay. Then Prarthana, the prayer. How many times Hindus do the prayers in a day? 2 times. Okay, 2 sandhyas. Okay, dusk and the dawn. 2 times arti. 2 times diya. Okay. Third B is Punarjanam. Reincarnation. We were before, we will be after. Punarjanam. We all believe in that. Fourth P is called Purushartha. That's a law of action. Purushartha. Law of karma. Then fifth is Prani Deya. Compassion. Prani Deya. Not just only the human beings. We should not hurt. We should not kill anybody. Anybody. Prani Deya. So again, Parameshwar, Prarthana, Punarjanam, Purusharth, and Prani Deya. Any question on these groups of 5s? I think there was a question over here in the text I saw. Do koshas have any physicality, or they completely abstract? They have the physicality. Anumekosh is all physical. Anumekosh, we know that there's energy flowing inside us. Manomekosh, it's not abstract, it's very subtle. That's why it's called a subtle body. Anandmekosh or Vigyanmekosh, subtle, not abstract. Okay. Now let's start with the grouping of 6. On this path of evolution, we have 6 enemies. Our enemies, and we should know these enemies. They are called Shat Ripus. Shat means 6. Ripus means enemies. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, Matsarya. Kam is the desires. They are our enemies. They keep us earthbound. They don't let us fly up into the heavenly abode. Kam. Krodh, anger. More the desires, more the anger. And this is a Ripu, enemy. Lobh, greed. When our desires get fulfilled, we want more and more and more. Never satisfied. That's another enemy. Lobh. When we were little, in simple Hindi, we were told, Lalach buri bala hai. I'm sure you all knew that. Lalach, that's lobh. Buri bala. Stay away from it. Moh. Delusion. Ahankar. Egoism. Arrogance. And Matsarya. Jealousy. Okay, so these are the 6 enemies. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, Matsarya. The yogis, they told us these are the enemies. They also told us who are the friends. Friends, they call them Shat Sampati. Sampati means wealth. So for a sadhak, for a practitioner, this is the wealth. So we need to stay away from the enemies, but we need to stay close to the friends. What are those? Sham Dam. Uprati Titiksha. Shraddha Samadhan. These are the 6 friends of ours. So that means we need to cultivate these qualities if we want to move upward. Sham means calmness of our mind. Dam means control of our senses, the senses which we talked about earlier. This should be in our control. Uprati. Rati means liking something. Up means upward. So we need to like the upward movement. Godly pleasure. And Titiksha means forbearance. Tough times come in life. And those times are because of our own actions. And that's what I talked about Purusharth before. Law of action. Okay. There is nobody else who's to blame. We got to accept the responsibility of our own actions. That is the Tiksha. Shraddha, faith. Faith in God, faith in Guru, faith in the scriptures. Faith in yourself. Shraddha. Samadhan. Samadhan is like a samadhi, complete equanimity. Samadhan. Full absorption. So Sham, Dam, Uprati, Titiksha, Shraddha and Samadhan. Next group of 6 I have is this physical body of ours. It goes through 6 transformations. And if we are familiar with it, these transformations, then we don't get agitated about it. We know this is the nature of the body. That's why the Vedas, they say, Shiryate iti shariraha. That means this body of ours is constantly destroying. Shiryate iti sharira. That's why it's called sharir. So, number 1 is asti. Asti means coming into existence. The minute the sperm and the egg, they meet. There's a life in it. Asti. Then jayate, the birth. Birth. When the baby is born, comes out of a mother's womb. Then third is vardhate, growth. We see that Anumekosh keeps on growing with the food. And number 4 is viparinamate. That body comes to that age where it can reproduce. Viparinamate. Then number 5 is apakshyate. Apakshyate means it withers with age. And number 6 is vinashyate, death. So if there's a asti, there will be a vinashyati also. So asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamati, apakshyate, and vinashyate. These are the 6 transformations of a body. Okay. While we are living, we eat food. Every day, several times a day we eat. And our Anumekosh grows because of that. And then effect of that is on our Pranmekosh also and Manumekosh also, other koshas also. It does affect, but mainly the grossest part is the Anumekosh. So yogis, they said, our food should have Chakras. Chakras. I'm sure you have heard this term before. So 6 rasa. Madhur, Lavan, Tikt, Katu, Kashai, and Amal. What is Madhur? Sweet. Sweet. When we eat sweet fruit, or even sugar, or sugar cane, sweet. Lavan. Lavan means salty. Tikt. Tikt means heart. Heart means mirchi heart, pepper heart. Okay. Katu. Katu is bitter, like a karela. Katu. Kashai. Another word for kashai is called kasela, astringent, like a amla. Then amal. Amal is sour, imli, tamarind. Let me repeat it again. Madhur, lavan, tikt, katu, kashai, and amal. That land of ours, which we call India these days, but the real name is Bharatvarsha. The people of that country, that place, they were given the freedom to think. And that's why from those thinkers, Shat Darshan came out. 6 philosophies. Not putting each other's down, but they came up with these philosophies to answer the questions of who am I? Where did I come from? Where will I go? What is the reality? All those questions which come into our mind, they came up with these Shat Darshans. Rishi Jaimini, he gave us Mimamsa Darshan. He described the ritualistic duties and the ceremonies for us in that Mimamsa Darshan. And let me tell you, all these darshans, they are written in Sanskrit and in poetry. Whether it's in the sutra form or the shlok form or the mantra form, they're all in Sanskrit because that was the language.
Can you clean this table also from the bottom and the top?
Vedanta by Ved Vyas discusses the nature of the absolute truth. Vedantic philosophy. Number 3 is Nyaya philosophy. Maharishi Gautam. It's not a Gautam Buddha. This is different. Maharishi Gautam. There is a system of logic for understanding life and the absolute truth. Nyaya philosophy. Then 4th one is Visheshik philosophy. Maharishi Kanad. It analyzes cosmology and creation from the perspective of its various elements. Visheshik. Number 5 is Yoga philosophy by Rishi Patanjali. Eightfold path, which will take us towards the union of God, to ultimately become one with God. Yogic philosophy. And number 6 is called Sankhya philosophy by Muni Kapil. It describes the evolution of the universe from Prakriti, the primordial form of the material energy. That is Prakriti. So let me repeat again. Mimamsa by sage Jaimini, Vedanta by Ved Vyas, Nyaya Maharishi Gautam, Vasheshika Maharishi Kanad, Yoga Maharishi Patanjali, Sankhya Muni Kapil. Wealth of knowledge about everything. But let me add one thing. Other than yoga or the yogic philosophy, all five, yogic philosophy, sure, it says with the help of yoga, when you're on the path of yoga, you can become one with God. But the other five also say yoga is the practice you need to do to become one with God. That's why Lord Krishna said the same thing. Yogi is greater than a karmi. Yogi is greater than the tapasvi. Yogi is greater than the dani. And he told Arjuna, yogi bhav Arjuna. Now let's go into the Shat Chakras. Yogis are the one who told us there are energy centers in our body. How many? 6 of them. That's why they are called Shat Chakra. We can deepen our meditation. When we meditate on these chakras, we can improve on our body, physical body, when we meditate on these chakras. We can bring calmness in our mind. We can become better human beings. Mooladhar Chakra, the base of the spine. Swadhisthana Chakra, at the place of the genitals. Manipur Chakra, right behind the navel. Anahat Chakra, in the middle of the chest. Vishuddha Chakra, the throat center. And Agya Chakra, right over here in the middle of our eyebrows. Again, Mooladhar, Swadhisthana, Manipur, Anahat, Vishuddha, and Agya. There are only 6 chakras. 7th one is not a chakra. That is a Sahasrara. 1,000 petals on the crown of the head. That is not a chakra. There are only 6 chakras. Remember that. Okay, that's called Shat Chakra. With the help of all this, we want to become one with God. There's another name for God is Bhagwan. Bhagwan. See, just like there is a term Dhanwan. Anybody who has a Dhan is a Dhanwan. Bhagwan. And what are these Bhags? There are also 6. Anant Gyan, Anant Virye, Anant Saundarye, Anant Yash, Anant Shri, and Anant Vairagya. Anant Gyan. Anant means infinite. Infinite knowledge God has. Anant Virye, the might, infinite might he has. Anant Saundarya, the beauty. Nobody can be more beautiful than God. Anant, infinite beauty. Anant Yash, the glory. We can keep on singing the glory of God. We can never reach its limit. And Anant Shri. Shri means the money, the Lakshmi. Shri, prosperity. And Anant Vairagya, even having all of this, he is infinitely detached. So these are the 6 bhags of Bhagavan. Anant Gyan, Anant Virya, Anant Saundarya, Anant Yash, Anant Shri, and Anant Vairagya. Now we have 6 cleansing processes according to Hatha Yoga. Okay. See, there's a Raj Yoga and Hatha Yoga. We learned that in the earlier lectures. So Hatha Yoga is for the body, and we need to learn how to keep this body healthy. And yogis, they gave us 6 kriyas. That's called a Shat Karam or Shat Kriyas. Neti, Dhoti, Noli, Kapal Bhati, Tratak, and Baste. These are the 6. Neti is a technique to keep our nose clean. Neti, there are several kinds of netis also, which I'm not going to go through, but neti, remember, nose cleansing. Dhoti, stomach and esophagus cleansing. Noli, churning of the stomach. Left to right and right to left. Kapal Bhati, the head cleansing. Kapal Bhati. Tratak, cleansing of our eyes. And Basti, the colon cleansing. So from all the way from the skull down to our colon, these yogis say keep it clean. Because anything which is dirty makes us sick ultimately. So neti, dhoti, noli, kapal bhati, tratak, and baste. Remember that. In human beings, there are some inherent powers. That's why it's said that human beings, to be born as a human being, it's rare. We are very fortunate that we were born in a human body because we have these powers in us. Inherent powers, which are called siddhis. All of us have it. Whether we can tap into it or not, it's up to us, but we all have it. Number 1 is called U-H-A. Uh means intuitive knowledge. We all have the intuitive knowledge. We need to learn how to tap into it. The second one is called Adhyan. Only human beings can study and analyze. Dogs and cats can't. Third is called Shabd. The words, only we speak the words. Animals and birds can't. They can create sound, but they cannot speak words. Then Dan, ability to give. Dukha Vimantraya, elimination of threefold sorrows. And we talked about the threefold sorrows. So as a human beings, we can eliminate that. We have that power. Dukha Vimantraya. And the 6th one is Suhrit Prapati. Suhrit. Cultivating a good heart. Okay, let me go again over it. Adhyan. Shabd Dan. Dukh Vimantraya Suhrit Prapati. Okay. So 6 of them. So God has sent us with all these siddhis. Are we using them or are we abusing them? We have the choice. That is a freedom He has given to us. If we use them properly, we can attain moksha. If we don't use it properly, we can definitely go down also. There's no limit to the hells, and there's no limit to the heavens. Full freedom. We all learned that there are 4 Vedas earlier. Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Sam Ved, and Atharva Ved. But there are supplementary to the Vedas, which are called Vedangs, and there are 6 of them. That's why I put them in this category of 6, Vedangs. Shiksha. Shiksha Vedang gives us the rules of chanting the mantras. They're very strict rules. Kalpa, rules for performing the rituals. Vyakaran, grammar of the Vedas. Nirukti, dictionary of the Vedas. Chand, that is a study of the scales, melodies, meters, in which the Vedic mantras are sung. And the 6th one is Jyotish. Those are the textbooks for astrology. Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarna, Nirukti, Chand, and Jyotish. Then last of the 6th I have, because we need to surrender to God. Faith really means surrendering to God. There are 6 parts to the surrender to. First one is to desire only in desire with the desire of God. That means we are the servants. He is the master. To desire only in accordance with the desire of God. Bhagwan ki marji. Not to desire against the desire of God. Number 3 is to have firm faith that God is protecting us. Number 4 is to maintain an attitude of gratitude toward God. Attitude of gratitude. Always be grateful. Number 5 is to see everything we possess as belonging to God. Idam namam. Nothing is mine. Everything is His. Don't cling to anything, including this body. And number 6 is to give up the pride of having surrendered. Give up the pride. Don't think that I am the biggest surrenderer. Okay, these are the 6 parts to surrender. The Vedas talk about it. Okay. I think it's about time, so let's end it over here, and then next week we'll start with the groups of 7. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaye Purnameva Vishishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much.